there. I did it right this morning. Good morning. I am Dave Glovin, and this is a special Boogie with the Bull Red Friday Morning Caffeine promo. We're not going to be on at 8:30 Eastern this morning. We will be on at 10 o'clock Eastern this morning and have Randy Rhodes with us, and we will talk about everything. We will talk about Red Friday, and then we will talk about politics, news of the day, everything America, and whatever comes out of our mouths like we always do here at Boogie with the Bull. I just wanted to let you know about that. But I did want to editorialize again for another few minutes. This shutdown would be over and the government would be operational, and Congress, the House and Senate, by Republican majority, probably would have approved SNAP using its emergency funding, which it clearly says can be used in the case of a government shutdown. This would be over. The government would be operational. The House and the Senate would be operational, and we could get back to the business of the United States of America, not the bullshit that Chuck Schumer is trying to put us through as Senate Minority Leader, because he thinks he's going to get $1.5 trillion to play with as he wants. You and I both know we have no intention of giving him $1.5 trillion to control with however he wants. He's not the majority. He's the minority. We're not going to give him free rein to do whatever he wants. We're not going to fund the illegal immigrant programs that he wants us to fund. You know that. I know that. He knows that. As far as the Affordable Care Act subsidies go, he knew exactly when they were going to end. And subsidies is kind of bullshit when you talk about the Affordable Care Act. You made the Affordable Care Act affordable by paying subsidies to the insurance companies to sell you insurance, meaning you paid the difference between whatever you paid them for an Affordable Care Act policy and the cost of an insurance policy from them. So you played a game with yourself. You want it to be affordable. You tell the insurance companies that are involved, this is the price. If you don't want to pay, if you don't want to agree to this price, then get the hell out of the program. Okay? That's what it's for. So I doubt very seriously the Republican majority of the Senate is going to approve any money for subsidies based on what they are. There's no reason to give an insurance company a subsidy to sell you insurance at a lower price, but we give you the difference. The hell is that? We're smarter than that. There is no leverage in that. And if Chuck Schumer thinks that illegal immigrants deserve something from us, then Chuck Schumer can go to their countries and see if he gets it for himself. I doubt it. He'd probably get put on a mass deport airlines plane and sent back to the United States. Go nuclear, John. John Thune, Senate Majority Leader. Go nuclear. Pass the clean continuing resolution. The House has already passed it. If you pass it, it goes to President Trump's desk, and he's waiting for it, and he's waiting to sign it. The government gets reopened. the House and the Senate get reopened. They can take care of America's business. And if they want to play around with $1.5 trillion, they can go into a room, like I've said before, and work it out. But there is no reason the November SNAP checks should not have gone out. When SNAP was broke, as far as its general money, they should have been able to open up their emergency funding and use it as long as it lasts. And it's not going to last very long. It's not going to get us through the entire Schumer shutdown. But the point is, shut down the Schumer shutdown. Go nuclear, pass the clean continuing resolution like the House did, like the president wants to sign, and we're good to go. Then go into a room anywhere in the Capitol and argue it out. Republicans and Democrats, if that's what you want to do, go in there and argue it out. But God damn it, get the country going again. Get the House and Senate going again. Let's take care of America's business. Let's do the right thing that we should have done weeks ago. I think what happened was SNAP went broke, and Chuck Schumer didn't know they were going to go broke. Thought they would continue with unlimited money, or we would have given him $1.5 trillion, and maybe he would have. But the bottom line is there are Americans in this country that depend on SNAP. They're willing to allow it to become workfare. They're willing to work 15 hours of community service or 15 hours of real work or 15 hours of going to school every week for a month. That's 60 hours. It's really not that much because it's what most people work in the course of a month anyway, if you factor in the overtime that they get, maybe, or the time that they work anyway. So pass it. The people that don't want to do 60 hours of community service or 60 hours of work or 60 hours of going to school, they probably don't deserve SNAP. We help each other, and this is how we want to do it. This is how we can do it. The Affordable Care Act, well, yeah, it made insurance affordable, but it fooled you into thinking you were making insurance affordable. You were, but you were subsidizing it, so that's how it became affordable. There's got to be a better plan. Chuck Schumer knows this. John Thune knows this. Mike Johnson knows this. President Trump knows this. It's time we come together and take care of Americans. And those naturalized citizens that are American that deserve to be here just like we deserve to be here. Once and for all, if you have to, John Thune, the Senate Majority Leader, go nuclear. Pass the clean continuing resolution. Because if you don't, and we continue to play this game on November 21st of this year, we will be back in a government shutdown again. That's what Chuck Schumer or some other stupid Democrat will try to do again. And if you're worried about fallout from the Democrats, don't worry about it. They don't have enough votes to do anything that they say they can do right now. Okay? Go nuclear on the next bill that they don't want to pass because they want to shut us down, keep us shut down. And every time you do that, by the time November 2026 rolls around, there won't be anybody on the Democrat side of the Senate. And there shouldn't be anybody on any party side of the Senate anyway. It should be the best American in your area, your district, your state, whatever, to serve you. And who cares if they're a Democrat or if they're a Republican? That's up to them if they want to be one. But as far as being in the House or the Senate, they should be independent Americans voting for America. Because that's what they're there for. The ones that want to be in a party, send them home. Replace them. Let them be in a party. If Chuck Schumer really wants to be in the Democrat Party, well, let him. Because John Fetterman really wants to walk out of the Democrat Party and become a Republican and do the right thing for America. Or as a Democrat, he wants to do the right thing for the people of Pennsylvania. So enough of this. Go nuclear, pass the clean, continuous resolution, which the House has already done. Let President Trump use his black Sharpie to sign it, because he wants to, if it is clean. And we get back to business and we don't play these stupid freaking games that nobody in this country can afford to play. We have Americans that right now, it looks like they won't get their SNAP check, and they depend on their SNAP check. And if they don't get their SNAP check, you should no longer get your paycheck. Your entire staff should no longer get their paychecks. Nobody, not even the janitors in the House or the Senate, nobody should get paid. And you see how fast you people pass a clean, continuous resolution. And then, like I said, go into a room, break bread, and do whatever the hell you want to do. But you do not have the right to shut down our government ever over anything. You don't have the right to do that. You don't have the right to create something that was stupid to begin with that risked Americans. Because SNAP went broke. And they went broke because there were probably as many illegal immigrants in the system as there are American citizens. And together, we can't do it for all of them. And the illegal immigrants are here because they get everything. They get arrested crossing the border. They get an iPhone. They get a tablet. They probably even get a laptop. They even get a house. Enough of that. We don't give that stuff to Americans. Not that I want an iPhone and I don't need another tablet. I have to. And I don't need a new laptop. I'm very happy with the one I got. But I earned it. I bought it when I was running my business. I bought the tablets when I was running my business. I updated my phone. I don't remember how long ago I updated my phone. But I paid for everything. And Americans pay for everything. So why shouldn't illegal immigrants pay for it? And because they're illegal immigrants, they shouldn't be here. Enough of this sanctuary city stuff, sanctuary state stuff. Gavin Newsom says, come live with me. Pritzker says, come live with me. Bullcrap. Your budgets in your states do not allow you the luxury of supporting every illegal immigrant in your state. Period. It's time to shut them off. It's time to take care of the people who elected you, the American citizens that elected you, and get our government reopened, get our House and our Senate reopened, and get the bills and things we need passed to benefit American citizens taken care of. So drop whatever you're doing right now, go into the Senate chamber and vote right now on the clean continuing resolution, the money to fund the government. Then reopen the Senate, reopen the House, and fight for whatever stupid stuff you think you need to fight for. Because $1.5 trillion to Chuck Schumer, the Senate minority leader, is bullcrap. You know it. I know it. He knows it. Everybody knows it. It's time to fund the United States of America the right way. No more continuing resolutions, 1 year of funding the government. If we exceed a level, like if we exceed 3%, however they figured out 3%, if we exceed it, you don't get paid until you bring us back down to 3% or lower. And you don't get the retro while it took you forever to get it passed. The bottom line is we pay you in excess of $174,000 a year and give a lot of you a chance to become millionaires, aside from what we pay you to be there. The only money in politics should be our money. The only special interest money should be our special interests. That's it. We pay you. You don't need anything else. If you need to make more, unless you're in a leadership position, unless you're in a leadership position to get more than $174,000 a year, that's all the money you get. You need more money, go get a real job like the rest of us. But this, I don't care on both sides of the aisle. I've been here most of my life, 91 years old, Chuck Grassley. Maybe it's time to let him go. But I like Chuck Grassley, and I respect Chuck Grassley for what he does. But maybe it's time to let him go anyway. Because it's time to let go of Nancy Pelosi on her side. She's criminal. It's time to take care of that. It's time to process that. If she's not convicted of anything, at least we tried. Okay? I'm live right now on the Boogie with the Bull YouTube channel, and it has a live chat, and I'm live on the Dave Glovin profile on Facebook. It has a live chat. And if you would like us live somewhere else, let me know and I'll try. It has to be free because we don't have the funding to be on a network that we have to pay to be on. And we'd have to ask you to kick in the money for us to pay for it. Because as I've said, when I can't afford to do it anymore, I will either not do it or I'll figure out a way to do it the way we've been doing it. And right now, we're totally free. We're using free Restream. Okay? And if you like what you see, it's very easy and simple to use. And if you decide you need more and you have to pay for more, it looks the same. It acts the same. There's just a few more things you can do with it. But we subscribe to the keep it simple, stupid theory of doing everything in life. But enough is enough is enough is enough is enough. It's enough. I had a 6-month checkup yesterday for me, and they noticed they had to help flush out my my left ear, but it wasn't that bad. They had to unplug my right ear, which seriously needed unplugging. And they always say that when that happens, you're not listening to someone who needs to talk to you, anyone. I'm hearing people say, please make sure I get my SNAP benefit because I need it. I'm entitled to it. I would do the 15 hours of community service if they added that every week, or I would work 15 hours a week, or I would go to school 15 hours a week. I would do it all 60 hours a month to get my SNAP benefit. Even our cat, who's only 3, would do it. Agnes is in the bathroom digging in the tub again. I don't know why, but she loves digging in the tub. If you see her wandering around in my background, or if she ever gets the nerve to come up and jump on the desk, that's Agnes. But anyway, like I said, we will be live this morning at 10 o'clock Eastern, so adjust yourself accordingly, because Randy Rhodes will be a guest on the program. We'll do our talk about Red Friday, remember everyone deployed, and then we'll go into the classic stuff that we do every week for about an hour. Because that's usually how long Randy can give us when he has time to join us on a broadcast. You're welcome to join us on the broadcast if you wish. All you got to do is come into the live chat and say, hey, send me a link. I got something to say. The only rules are you got to respect everybody who's on the program, me and anyone else, and treat them the way you expect to be treated, and come in. And other than that, have a good time. We're able to do it now because we opened the box and found a Windows 10 Pro laptop that I must have forgot that I had. But, we got more equipment than we need to do it right now, and I enjoy doing it. But I enjoy doing it more when you're here, either in the live chat or you're on the broadcast with me, and we just do what we got to do. We don't tell you how you should do something. We suggest how you should do something and hope that you should do something. And right now, we hope that the Senate majority, led by Majority Leader John Thune, will in fact go nuclear. Because it's time to do that and pass the clean, continuous resolution. And not worry about what Democrats think they can do or will do when they are the majority, because I don't think in November of 2026 they will become the majority. Matter of fact, I'm sure they will become the minority and maybe even become non-existent over this. One guy, Chuck Schumer, the Senate Minority Leader, locked down the federal government. Said, nope, you can't do anything in the federal government. We can't work. Our partners over in the House can't work. Nobody, nothing. It's time to show Senator Chuck Schumer, the Senate Minority Leader, the Senate Minority Leader. I'm sorry, I'm having trouble getting minority and majority out this morning. Chuck Schumer is the Senate Minority Leader. And if he doesn't want to pass a clean, continuous resolution, then the minority can vote against it. But it's time to go nuclear so that the majority can pass it and we get it to the president, who will sign it, and then we get back to doing what we do here in the United States of America for the people of the United States of America, the citizens, the American voters. Okay? It's time we take this country first, as you see President Trump doing around the world. You want to work with us? Then you need to do this. You want us to do something? Well, then you need to do this. That's the way it goes. Tariffs, the money that President Trump controls, do not need to be paid for something that is sitting broke with its own emergency money and able to get it started. And we need to get SNAP started again. And SNAP has its own emergency money. We can help with more money, I'm sure. But right now, that's what we need to do. Get the government open, get the Senate open, pass the clean, continuous resolution. Do not add a bit of extra money that doesn't belong there. Passed. Get it to President Trump wherever he is, anywhere in the world. I don't care. Have him sign it. Get our government reopened, our House and Senate reopened, so they can handle the business of the United States for us. SNAP doesn't ever get caught up in the middle and closed. There are too many people who depend on the money they receive from SNAP. And they are, like I said, willing to do what they might have to do in the future for it. The illegal immigrants that don't want to work, oh, they won't go to work. They won't go to school. They won't do 15 hours of community service every week, so they won't get it. And take it away from them. The free house they get, we'll take it away from them. And we'll give it to someone who deserves it. That's what we do in this country. We're coming up on 29 minutes. I'm going to wrap it up at 30 minutes. And like I said, Randy Rhodes and I are scheduled to do a 10 o'clock Eastern Red Friday morning caffeine. So make sure you make yourself some fresh coffee, because if it sits for an hour and a half, it's going to be old. So make sure you come in with some fresh coffee. Let me turn my coffee around. And sit back and watch. Like I said, we are live on the Dave Glovin profile on Facebook and in several Facebook groups. Matter of fact, this morning we'll do a Xander Gibb Memorial pre-rehearsal and tell you all the groups that we're sending it to. We did, in fact, get asked not to send it to one group. Well, actually, we didn't get asked to send Boogie with the Bull. We shared something else, and they asked us not to share it anymore because of reasons that they had. So we won't share that one anymore in that one group. I'm welcome to share anything Boogie with the Bull in that group. I just got carried away with sharing a broadcast that I like. But again, I don't tell you what you should do and expect that you will do it. I just tell you what you should do and hope that you do it. Like I said before, take out a pad of paper. Every time I say something you like, write it down. Every time I say something you don't like, write it down. At the end of the broadcast, cross out everything you don't like that I could fix. Because I will. Everything you do like about the broadcast, let me know. Even the stuff that you don't like. Anyway, we're 31 minutes into the broadcast. So join me and Randy Rhodes at 10 o'clock Eastern time this morning for Boogie with the Bull Red Friday morning caffeine. Wear a red shirt if you can, because some people call it Red Shirt Friday. So wear a red shirt. I always say just wear something that shows red. because one of my favorite T-shirts is a flag, and it has red on it, and I like to wear it a lot. So I've shown up to do that. Or if I have to, I'll wear my miniature sketch. Anything with red so that you remember everyone deployed on Friday. And we do that every Friday. Bill Muckler, who is a retired Marine captain, taught us Red Friday morning. And it's just the right thing to do. If you're in the military and you want to drop in, if you can, if you have time, and leave a shout out for your family, please do. If you have a loved one in the military anywhere in the world, or even here in the United States, because you're deployed too right now, if your family member, same thing. Jump into the live chat, leave a message for them, or jump onto the program with me and Randy and leave a message for them. That is welcome too. Okay? I want to show as much respect to the men and women of the military, all branches, the men and women of ICE, the men and women of the National Guard, the men and women of your state and local law enforcement, and your first responders, because they're important too. To show them that we love them, we care for them, we send them prayers when we need to every day, that one day their job just becomes easy and they get it done. That's all we can do. We are the United States of America. We're the greatest country on the face of the earth, or at least I'm told that. But right now, we are not the greatest country on the face of the earth. We have caught a program that needs to get to its emergency money. It's not like they don't have it and they have to ask for more. They have it, but right now they have to go before Congress and ask for permission to use it. And they can't do that right now. So what we need to do in this serious hour of need is reopen the government, fully reopen the House and the Senate, fully reopen SNAP, and allow them to do what they need to do. And worry about the BS. Worry about the illegal immigrants that might be in there, the abuse, the fraud. Worry about that later. But right now, we need to be able to send out checks for November, because those people are caught up in the middle of the game of politics and they don't deserve it. So come join me and Randy at 10 a.m. Eastern on my profile on Facebook, on the Boogie with the Bull YouTube channel, on everywhere that we are. I might try to send it live to some other social media networks as we go along today, or I'll podcast it when we're done. But once and for all, let's do what we need to do. You folks in the Senate, you need to pass the clean continuing resolution right now. No more ifs, ands, buttocks, or anything. We just need to do it. Okay? No more filibustering to keep us from doing it. We need to do it. And if you're a senator and you don't want to see the clean continuing resolution pass, well, you can vote against it, or you can not vote, or you can just get the hell out of the Senate because you're not doing your job. Okay? We pay for everything for everybody, but you have to be a citizen. And in some cases, you have to earn certain things. But right now, I'm not even concerned with that. I've even said, reopen the government, reopen the House and Senate, agree to give SNAP access to their emergency funding, let them send out checks to whoever, even illegals if they're already in the system illegally, or any abuse or any fraud. But let's take care of Americans and pump out the checks like we're supposed to. Because there are men, women, and children that may not make it through November. They may not even have a Thanksgiving. I don't care what it is, but be thankful for one another and people that want to do the right thing. Be thankful that we have people that want to do the wrong thing, I guess, too. But do the right thing. Do the right thing. Senate Democrats, if you want to keep voting against it, keep voting against it. But if you keep voting against the clean resolution as a Democrat, I think you know the answer to you're asking for $1.5 trillion. There's a right way and a wrong way to fund the government. And a clean bill to fund the government only gives money to fund the government. It doesn't give money to fund divisions of the government that do this and do that. That's not its job. And Chuck Schumer can go, well, in the 13 times that I had votes when I was a majority leader, they got what they wanted, we got what we wanted, and America got what they wanted. No. The only thing that counts now, this time, is America getting what it wants, and it doesn't want a dirty continuing resolution. And it certainly doesn't want a dirty continuing resolution that contains $1.5 trillion of whatever the hell the minority party wants to do, because they want to have their way. Give us the 7 votes that we need, and we'll talk about what you want afterwards, after the government is reopened, after the House and Senate is reopened, after SNAP is reopened. Stop doing everything that you can to keep the government closed and expecting President Trump to clean up everything that you're doing. Because you wouldn't like it if President Trump cleaned it up anyway. Because you wouldn't like how President Trump would do his cleanup. One option is, yes, let SNAP fully go broke. No emergency money, no money to operate on, go broke. Then he can look at it and go, you know what? That gives me the idea for SNAP 2, which I can fund with tariff money, because tariff money is the president's money to spend. But you know what? Maybe that's something you need to talk with and negotiate with the president. But we ain't doing it, Democrats, until after the government is open, after the House and Senate has been reopened, and then looking at whatever you want, wherever you want. And it isn't what you want, it's what America wants. And America doesn't want $1.5 trillion of more debt right now, because USAID was closed, and the Democrats don't like that, and the other slush funds were closed, and Democrats don't like that. And you know what? I don't care what you like and what you don't like. You're not there for what you like and what you don't like. You're there for what the Americans you represent tell you to vote for. And right now, I'm sure they are telling you on both sides in the Senate, vote yes for a clean, continuous resolution that opens everything, like I have said 900,000 times right here, and go from there. do not worry about Democrat fallout, okay? Because they're the minority right now, at least through November 2026, I believe. They are the minority. And if we're still in a shutdown in November of 2026, I don't imagine anybody in America will vote for a Democrat. Because this is their fault. This is their party's fault. This is their leadership's fault. This is Chuck Schumer's fault. Got caught with his hand in the cookie jar before it got into the cookie jar, or before the cookies got into the jar. And he thinks the only way out of it is to force President Trump to do things that he wants to do. No, he's not going to do it. It's not his job. And if he does, Democrats wouldn't like however he does it. So pass the clean, continuous resolution in the House. Well, you already passed it in the House. In the Senate, using the nuclear option, if that is the only way Majority Leader Thune can get it passed, then do it. Because I believe right now, really, there are Senate Democrats, there are more than 7 Democrats that will vote for the clean, continuous resolution. They're just too afraid to let the truth be known because they want to be Democrats. Well, you know what? If you did something right, for America, I'm sure you would continue to hold your seat even if you weren't a Democrat, meaning that they kicked you out or were going to primary you or whatever. So have that portion of the male anatomy and do what you need to do. There's no excuse for what is going on. Each day I wake up and I ask 2 different AIs what's going on in Washington, D.C., because I want to hear both of them because they're both slightly different. Same thing, but slightly different. And then I look around and I put a broadcast together or I write editorial posts all over Facebook, which I really want to stop doing. Because someone the other day said, you're not coherent. You can't even write a complete sentence. I went back and read it, and I understood it. Fine. Attack my posts for what they say or what they don't say, but don't say, what you wrote is not coherent. Because if you look at a lot of Facebook, it's not coherent, and it's not really, I don't even think, ever meant to be coherent. But hopefully the Senate Republicans will pass the clean, continuous resolution immediately, today, before the end of today. They will pass it. I don't care what the Democrats think. Then they can go into a room in the Senate in the dark and battle each other until they figure out what they're going to do with your tax money. Okay? Anyway, I'm Dave Glovin. I want to thank anybody who watched this or will watch this, and just remind you once again, like I said, in an hour at 10 o'clock Eastern, Randy Rhodes and I will be together for Red Friday Morning Caffeine. It gives me about an hour, like I just said, to figure it out and put on my red shirt for today. Anyway, I'm wearing my gray and black Foxwood sweater, but it shows how upset I am that we're in the mess that we're in. Greatest country on the face of the earth, the one who's going to get it done because it needs to be done everywhere, and we can't even get it done for ourselves. And we're way past it needs to be done for us. There's no reason why SNAP should have been caught up in the middle of this. There's no reason why a lot of this should have been caught up in this. Schumer knew when the Affordable Care Act was passed. He knew there were subsidies that would have to be reapproved somehow. They would have to be reapproved. And this subsidy is stupid. When you pay the government with your tax money so they can compensate an insurance company for what they will lose by selling you an affordable care policy, it's not affordable. So we need to look at that. It's not affordable. There are so many different ways they could fund your insurance care that would make it affordable, really. If you bought a policy and you didn't use it for, say, a year because you didn't have any reason to use it, you should get some money back. You should get enough money to renew your policy the next year. They could have insurance pools because some things are actually more expensive than others. But if you get a bazillion people into one pool, it'll bring that price down. We don't want you in pain. We don't want you to suffer. We want you to eat in November of this year. We want you to eat in December of this year, too. We want you to eat in January of next year. If you're like me and you're on Social Security, yeah, they're going to throw you a few dollars and cents that will hopefully help you along the way, too. But too many of us are depending on too many of us that just don't do their fucking job. Yeah, you heard me say it. So now I can't send this to that one group that made the complaint yesterday about me sharing something that someone swore in. But think about it, Senate Democrats. If you were dependent on SNAP, what would you want done right now? And then at least opens the doors so you can go and try to get more. Tell me. And stop telling me illegal immigrant is really undocumented immigrant. Well, the only reason they're undocumented is they didn't come in here. They didn't come in here legally. And Tom Homan said it best. If you step into this country illegally, you have broken the law. Period. When we get them to a judge and jury, and the judge and jury says, oh, no, that person didn't break the law, then maybe things will be different. But I hope on that day a snowball in hell stays frozen. Because I don't think it's ever going to happen. We want to feed our people, and we can't right now. And as I said, even feed the illegals that are on it, if they depend on it. But yeah, it's going to change. If you don't want to work, you don't want to go to school, you don't want to help in the community, you just want to sit and get the government check, well, then you may lose your $4,200 check. And that's totally ridiculous. That's just totally ridiculous. If your only excuse for being on SNAP is, well, I make $4,200, that allows me to support my 7 kids that I have to spend 24/7 taking care of, then something's wrong. okay? Or start a business and put your kids to work legally. Child labor laws, of course. But, you know, if you're legally on SNAP and you have 7 kids and you get $4,200 a month, well, your 7-year-old kids are going to get taken off the program. Why? Because you're illegal. All you got to do is become a citizen, maybe, and they'll restore it. But you got things that you're going to have to do. But right now, everybody wants to eat. Anyway, I'm Dave Glovin. You're not. I told you me and Randy will be here at 10 o'clock this morning. So Eastern time, adjust yourself accordingly. Like I said, you'll catch me here on my profile on Facebook or on the Boogie with the Bull YouTube channel on YouTube, of course, and any place else you may want us to be. We'll see you then. We've got about 53 minutes, the same number of minutes as we have Republicans that want to pass the damn thing. Anyway, go out and make it a good day. We'll see you in about 53 minutes. Thank you. Double V's, this book.